Some coffee's fast, but not fresh. Some coffee's fresh, but only after a long wait. Speedway Coffee is made fresh at the push of a button, hot or iced, so you can have fresh coffee your way, right away. Get 2 times the points when you buy any size hot or iced coffee drink with Speedy Rewards.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. It is Wednesday the 1st of December. We can start opening our advent calendars here. I'm so excited about that. This is episode 187 of the J-Cast. Damon, how are you doing?
How are you, my friend? I am so excited to do this show. It feels like forever since we last communicated. I disclosed to Joel that I wanted to save everything for the show. Like, I didn't want to know any details. I didn't want to know anything. So I just gave him like a congratulations and just real quick shit. I kind of sounded like a real jerk off, but I wanted to save it to the show. But so I told him that. But now it's here. It's here. Our show is here. So how is it going to baby Joel?
You know what? It's surprisingly well, surprisingly smoothly, all things considered. I imagined it was going to be absolute chaos.
Right.
Well, I don't know where to start, really. I mean, the birth itself was a bit scary.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, we were booked in for a C-section, and that means me and Mally are sitting together. She's lying down, obviously. There's a little curtain just sort of below her head, so you can't watch her being vivisected in front of us. So it was all going well, and she's obviously quite panicky as she sort of squeezed my hand, saying, talk to me. So I wanted to sort of do this kind of rambling monologue of positivity. Oh, it's going to be so great, blah, 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 blah. A bit like commentating pro wrestling, really. It's not easy. Not easy when you're put on the spot like that. Right. I didn't have any notes. I didn't have Chris Samsa preparing anything for me. No stats.
No stats?
No stats.
You know, most people survive C-sections here. 87% just walk away.
Can you imagine? So then the doctors, about halfway through it, go, oh, you can see your son's head now. Do you want to have a look? I foolishly said yes. Stood up, peered over the curtain. I was like, oh, I did not want to see that.
Wait, so the head is outside the stomach and she's opened up and you're looking at
that's
it?
My wife's guts
open,
oh
my God.
With the head poking out. And I'm a bit squeamish at the best of times. So I saw that and I was like, oh, wish I hadn't, but okay, sitting back down again. But then, like we had in the birth plan, Mally was really keen on having some skin-to-skin contact afterwards, as soon as Arthur had been delivered. And then she kept asking about that after he'd been taken out. And so I was asking the doctors, because, of course, when they take him out, you've got one team of doctors working on patching up Melly and another team working on the baby to clean him up. So I was asking the baby team, like, can we have skin-to-skin, please? And they were just completely ignoring me, and they were all, like, fussed. I could just sense a bit of panic.
Uh-oh.
They were just, like, sort of frantically doing stuff, and the stethoscopes and, the little sort of squeezy thing to take the fluid out of his lungs. And he wasn't crying very loudly. And I was like, uh-oh. Because they were just completely stonewalling me. And I was like, oh no, something's wrong. And then I started to get all faint, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna pass out." So my head between my knees, and Manny's like, "Is everything okay? What's going on?" I was like, "Yeah, fine, everything's fine."
Oh my God!
So that was pretty scary, but fortunately he was okay. He ended up he had the cord around his neck, so he had a bit of trouble breathing at first and getting the fluid out of his lungs, but he was fine. He had a few hours in the. Well, I went to see him afterwards, and they had him in. It looks like basically an astronaut helmet. And they said, we're just giving him some oxygen for a few hours to make sure he's okay. Okay. And I was like, so is he okay? And they said, we'll see in a few hours. I was like, okay, that's not very reassuring. No. And they was like, how's Mally? Can I see her? And they're like, oh no, you can't see her for a few hours. She's in recovery.
Oh
so
my God.
Like, so what, should I just go home then? And they're like, yep, we'll call you in.
So did you go to the bar? I would have went right to the bar.
Oh, no, this was... I suppose I could have done. I went home to hang out with Esther, so
All right.
she's been looked after by the nanny.
I was about to say she's just hanging out in the house by herself.
Yeah, just holding the fort. But yeah,
eggs.
eventually, a few hours later, I got a call. Everything's fine. Baby's fine. Manny's fine. It was great.
How terrible were those 2 fucking hours, man?
Not great.
Yeah.
Great. Quite scary because I'm a bit of a worrier when it comes to things like this. Because we haven't had the best of luck when it comes to stuff over the last. Well, maybe that's not fair. We have been quite lucky in a lot of ways. We're lucky now is the important thing.
All right.
So basically, my week of paternity leave was just hanging out with Esther and going out, taking her out to play, doing cool stuff with her because the first few days at the hospital was just like the baby gets wheeled into Mally's room every 3 hours for a bit of tit and then off it goes and she's watching Netflix in bed. So it's pretty chill for her. Now we're back home. He's a lovely little boy. I want to say he's very, very quiet. He seems a lot quieter than Esther, so he sleeps a lot. He's not very fussy, but at night time he started getting very wriggly. So we're trying to sleep, and then he's like, which is in a lot of ways more irritating than crying. So
Right.
if he's crying, you know what's up. But with the like, what is it? Stop it! Stop
Right.
it! But yeah, that's been fine. I mean, that's not a huge complaint. The first few days, Esther kept getting out of her bed, coming out of her bedroom to get into bed with us because she wanted to see what was going on. She's been amazing. She's like, she loves.
I was about to say, how's she taken to it? Yeah.
Oh, she adores him. She's always. Well, her version of a kiss is smushing her cheek up against someone else's head. So she's repeatedly does that. Every time she sees Arthur, she's like, Arthur, and sort of bends over him and smushes her face up against him. I'm not sure if he likes it, but there you go. That's big sisters for you. She's incredibly curious. Like every time we're changing his nappy or something, she's got this little plastic step thing, and so she picks it up, puts it next to the changing table, climbs up and sort of peers over the sides because she wants to see what's going on, which has resulted in her getting pee in the face a few times, but hasn't put her off. She's persistent, if nothing else.
She shook it right off.
Yeah, she's no-sold it like a champ.
Wow.
So yeah, here I am enjoying being a father of 2. It's crazy.
I can't believe
children.
it. I can't believe that when we hit stop on that last fucking podcast we did, you were like, I kept saying to Cheryl, I was like, he's going to go. Like, I was nervous about flying. And every time I got fucking nervous about flying, I stopped and I was like, oh my God, this dude is going to the fucking hospital, to have his wife deliver a child. I was just like, you got to get over yourself, my man. So what has been the, like, I guess that 2 hours is the worst part. I can't imagine that fucking 2 hours. I would have been to the bar. I just would have been done fucking everything. I would have been like, I need 9 shots and cocaine if you have it.
That bit wasn't so bad. I had a feeling things would be okay, but it was that like sort of 5-10 minute period when they were working on Arthur after they took him out.
Yeah.
Where, my horrible brain is saying like, I don't want to verbalize it,
right,
but
right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and having to tell that to
Correct.
Mally.
Yep. Okay.
It's absolutely terrifying. There's nothing like it.
Do you think, like you said, he seems quiet? Does he have a personality at this point? Like,
Oh no, absolutely not. It's like he's just like a little
There.
fish, basically,
Right, okay, I
staring
don't
right
know.
through you.
maybe that was a dumb question. Yeah, he's very philosophical. He's contemplating,
Really into
like,
esports.
wait, what the fuck am I? What kind of dumb question is that? How is Mally?
She's holding up. She's so busy. She never stops. She won't give herself any time to rest.
She's got to rest.
It's been like stupid shit. Like our nanny turned up yesterday morning, 15 minutes in. So I was at work when this happened. 50 minutes in, she tells Mally, "I've got diarrhea." And Mally's like, "What the fuck are you doing here then? Go home. Why didn't you tell us?" Right. "Oh, my phone's broken." So she sent her home. So she was with the 2 kids the whole day yesterday, which, she's still recovering from major surgery.
Yeah.
So it's very tough for her. She's very tired all the time, yelling at me all the time, as expected. But like I keep saying, that is the life of a dad, is to take all the shit and get none of the praise.
That's not true.
And smile and bear it.
You fucking, I mean, seriously. I mean, the stress that you put on, I mean, again, she's the one sitting there on a fucking table with her stomach open, but okay. Enough about her. Let's talk about you. I mean, that's pretty, you got to be a bit of a rock there. And especially if you don't, like you're not the best in your own mind at doing that, you still got to be that rock. Because if you show any signs of what the fuck, you're going to put her into a panic. So, yeah, I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. Let's not hand wave that.
Yeah, and just in terms of sort of the daily routine. So, I'm up at 5-ish, off to work. As soon as work's finished, back home, and then it's just childcare, basically, for the remainder of the afternoon/evening, which, again, is not a complaint because I love it. I know lots of people don't. It's not for everyone, but, I get home, do something with Esty, and I'll take her swimming or something, and then give her a dinner, shower, brush her teeth, story time, bedtime, get her to sleep. And by that time, it's like 9:30, and I'm exhausted. I want to go to bed, and that's I've done nothing to help out with Arthur, so it's pretty flat out. But again, I love it. I would not go back to the time before when. My philosophy on it, Damon, is when I get to like the age of 80. I don't think I'm going to look back and think, I wish I'd watched more YouTube videos.
Right.
I wish I'd worked more. I am aware that I think this is a really important time for me to be spending with my kids and my family. So, and then again, it's not for everyone. I'm not trying to say that everyone will love this one because plenty of fathers don't. And
my dad.
But yeah, it's Christmas is right around the corner. Hopefully, my parents will be able to get out here. So yeah, I'm very blessed, very lucky man.
You are, and I just can't believe, again, from where we were doing this show, and just like the giant question mark of even like ever having one, and now two, is unbelievable. So I mean. I see the little pictures on Instagram and shit. I'm like, oh, he's adorable. And speaking of which, can we just change gears real quick? Because because we might as well mention it now. What the fuck was that ELP thing? I'm like,
okay,
what?
so
Somebody sent me that. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Okay, I'm going to put that in context. So first, we need to start off by saying a massive thank you to the people who filled in for us while we were away.
Yeah.
Two of the probably the best episodes of the whole show.
Holy shit, yes.
Way better than the crap that we put out. So Alan and Booze, who did episode 185, we'll definitely be having them back at some point. And then episode 186, where we had John and Elliot doing the Super Dadcast. We had Lawrence and Evelyn, Mike and Tracy, just fantastic, just so funny. Like the chemistry, just I could listen to both those couples for hours and hours. And then Ray from Curtis, who went through to the trouble of getting some wrestlers to call in. They had Gino Gambino, Chris Charlton,
Robbie Eagles,
Aaron Henare, Robbie Eagles calling in with well wishes. So I put out a tweet just basically thanking them, saying, what, that's so awesome that I get baby congratulations from a bunch of these New Japan guys and thanking them. So, and I had a little picture of Esther and Arthur, and then ELP replies to it with "ugly ass baby," that is ELP language for congratulations. Right. I'm so happy for you. So I was just like, "Oh, thanks, ELP." What a sweetie! Like in his own way, that's a really nice gesture.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And then I saw somebody say,
I mean, it's better than like if it was MJF we had that relationship with. He'd just like call my children a pair of fucking cunts or something, wouldn't he?
Right, trash. And then somebody said like put that on your jacket. Like, how he had that light up jacket.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. If he did that, if he fucking did that, I would have shit my pants. All right. Yeah. So let me rewind then. How about those fucking shows? I cannot believe the effort and first of all, so I got that episode right when I got home. I literally walked in the door and I got the indicator that indicator, the text message, the indicator, that the episode was ready. Okay, I'm home. I can upload it. Blah blah blah. And it was, first of all, it was over 3. The file we got was over 3 hours, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, because I really wasn't in the loop of how many people were in it. Like, I knew who I wanted. Like, I knew from the people that I listened, I was like, we got to have this. I was a huge fan of the Montreal couple, of the French Canadian. Oh my god! From the minute I heard them,
can I give them another shout out, because we had to
Yes.
keep the episode under 3 hours, so the plug for their radio show had to get chopped, and I want to put it back in. I feel terrible about that, because I'm sure I'm not the only person thinking I want to listen to more of these people.
Yes.
So they have it's in Montreal, Canada. They have a weekly bilingual radio show at 89.3 CISM. Some of it's in French, but it's hilarious. I was listening to it. It's really good stuff. It's on Spotify as well. I believe it's called Nightcap. I'm looking at the link now. It says Nightcap, so I assume it's called Nightcap. So yeah, if you want to check out more of Lawrence and Evelyn, then you can check them out there, because weren't they tremendous? I mean, they were all great, but it was just each pair brought something a little bit different to the table.
Yes. So again, I get this file. It's over 3 hours. I'm like, well, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, so Dan was like, I think we got to keep it to under 3, or like literally right at 3. We cannot go over 3 because of the hosting service or whatever. So we have to be at 3. And Dan was like, I got to cut some stuff. I was like, all right, we'll cut where you need to cut, and then you got to be the judge of it, because I'm not, I won't listen till you send me the final copy. So he edits, and he's like, he's apologizing. I'm like, Dan, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I can't. And again, keep in mind, I haven't listened to the thing yet. He's doing a whole thing, right? I get the file, and he's like, this is really good. I'm like, all right, cool. And he sent me a little snippet. He sent me the Chris Charlton one. I was like, oh my god! I mean, Chris Charlton did that. That was very nice of him. Blah blah blah. Not realizing that it was a part of that whole end of the show, where it was just those constant like phony phone call, call-ins that they got, and I was like every 15 minutes it was like another one. Anywho, so again, I get this file, boom. It's just for the people who've listened to it, you already know. But if you haven't listened to it, we didn't have room to put in the opening music. We couldn't even put in the opening music. Our theme song, and it goes right on in to Chris Charlton open, and then away we go. I was mesmerized by everyone. Joel, the whole purpose of this was to have replacement people do our show, not to show up us.
I know. I should have picked some of the crap entries.
Right.
But there weren't any crap entries. They weren't. They were all great.
They were all great, but I cannot believe the effort and the talent. They were fun. Like,
They made the World Tag League entertaining.
Yes. Like, I sit here and I'm like, all right, we might not be the most knowledgeable too, but at least we have chemistry and we're funny and blah, blah. I was like, they're funny. They're funnier than us. I'm like, they have better chemistry. All of them do. Every one of them. And I'm like, motherfuckers.
Two of them were strangers a matter of weeks ago that I just put together. Not at random. I mean, a bit of thought went into it, but I was just like, fuck, they've got great chemistry already.
Yes. Yeah. Who were the two at the end?
That was Rafe and Curtis.
Great. Unbelievable. They were talking like this was like their first conversation. You know what I mean? Like first full conversation. They chatted back and forth a little bit, and they had things that were in common. Like they're like friends now. Like they're going to listen, every one of them, from the dad cast to every one of them. If all of them don't do their own show, they're nuts. They are all very talented people. And again, I appreciate the effort and the fact that I was not expecting that. I was expecting a good show and a good listen, and okay, hopefully it's good. This, I thought, was one of the best things that we've ever put out. That's how good. And again, World Tag League. a random Best of the Super Junior. And they made it fun, and they made it entertaining, and they made it so that that 3 hours flew by. 3 hours flew by. I could not believe it. So, needless to say, Joel, this is going to be an annual thing.
No doubt. I wanted to extend it. I was just sitting there looking at the 6 World Tag League Best of Super Junior shows, thinking, shit, we should have got these guys to do more than one show.
I told you 2 weeks wasn't enough. I told you. I was like, we need more. So again, my thank you is extended to everyone involved in this project. Nicole,
and you're going to get a call back.
Yeah, everyone.
Absolutely.
And I think Nicole Nicole was amazing. I thought she was fantastic. Everybody brought something to the table. I was so proud of everybody. So again, I won't gush anymore, but fantastic job. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. It's fantastic listening. And I don't think there is a better review, podcast or in written form than that show for, again, what can very easily be just fucking hand waveable nonsense. Every one of those groups put together a solid 30 minutes, 40 minutes of quality broadcasting. Excellent job.
Cola Blue asked, did Damon find the Regal twins while he was on holiday? I mean, you may not have found them, but I do want to know, how was the holiday?
Holiday was fantastic. It was so good. So first and foremost, flying, that didn't go well. The flying did not go well. A little bumpy, and I had a panic attack on the plane. And Cheryl's looking at me like, you okay? And I just had my head down, and I couldn't stop crying like a baby. Like I was just crying for an hour. I couldn't breathe. And I felt bad because I took her, like we had 4 Xanax. And I had one before we got on. She had one before she got on. And then I took the other one. I took her other one. Because we knew I would need it back on the way back. Dude, I sent you a picture. I was drinking in the Philadelphia airport. Was it 6 a.m. that they opened? 6 a.m. I'm waiting at the bar. Like I'm there when they open up the gates. I'm the first person in drinking. And it didn't help. It didn't help. On the way back helped because I was a little bit heavier. I drank a little bit more. But that was a smooth flight. That was actually really nice. But go on, it was sucked.
So can I just? I don't want to traumatize you.
That's right. No drama.
I'm curious about how you pulled yourself back out of the panic attack, because
Xanax
happens to the best of us. So
Xanax. Yeah, she gave me a pill, and then I took it, and then maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, I was like, I could, like it just closes up my throat. Like it just feels like it's just somebody's grabbing my throat. I feel that's the best way I can describe it. And I can't really breathe very well, and it just doesn't stop. And it just doesn't stop. Yeah. So, and I hate it. Like if it's in a public place, so then your mind goes to, oh, I'm in a public place. Knock it the fuck off. You're acting like a fucking idiot. Stop it. You just fucking knock it off. And then you just go into it, and you can't, and then you just make it worse. But I wasn't noisy or anything. I was very quiet. I get very quiet. But I just kind of fucking huddled in. I was just trying to ride it out. But once we were there, Joel, holy mother of God, this was a really nice resort. And when we got there, so we were like right on the beach in this casita, and it had a pool right there, steps away from the bar. Like I was just having, and people would just come and be like, do you need a drink? You need a drink. And so I'm in the pool, and I'm just drinking fucking margarita after margarita after margarita, and then pina colada, and they fucking made it in this coconut, and it was fucking great. So we had a guy that kind of looked after us. Like, I don't want to say it was a butler, but it was kind of like a butler. And his name was Daniel, and he was so fucking nice. So I'm there, and my fat ass is floating in the pool. And he's like, we're talking, and he's like, you having a good time? He's like, he just stops. He's like, are you having a good time? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm having a fucking great time. And he goes, is there anything I can do to make it better? And I was just like, oh my God, this is so great. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. The food was spectacular. It was so relaxing. Like I'm still waterlogged from all the ocean and pool, but it was fantastic. But I do have a story to tell. So, and this is part of the reason why I was kind of out of the loop, so to speak. So I had to get part of the resort. They gave you a COVID test so you can get back into the fucking United States. Right? So I go. It's in the morning, like 2 days before we had to leave. 2 days before we leave. Go. I'm in like a pair of shorts and, a polo shirt and fucking a pair of slides and, my bucket hat. Looking like I just got out of a fucking Stone Roses concert. And we're walking back from the place. And she's like, well, you want to go to this restaurant, La Laguna, get some breakfast. So it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. Maybe close to 10. Cool. We walk across this beautiful little field. It's like a jungly thing. It's really gorgeous. We walk across, and then there's these 2 gigantic pools. One's an adult-only pool. The other one is like a mixed pool, but the adult-only pool has a bar like in the pool. You can just fucking sit there and drink and pee in the pool if you want to. I don't know. I would never do that. So we're walking, and there's like a walkway in between those 2 pools, right? And it's like tile, like everything seems like it's tiled and marbly and very just unbelievably nice. So here's walking up. We're walking on the other side. We're going to cross this bridge. Here comes another couple and 2 kids, right? Probably, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 at the most, right? So I see them in the distance, whatever. So we kind of scoot to the side a little bit. And they're walking up, and I see the kids. And I don't say anything, I mean, not even a tip of the hat, of you don't. But in my head, in my mind, how you get like dumb thoughts? like this was my thought. What would happen if I just hip checked one of these fucking kids, right? And they go just spinning into the fucking pool. How fucking funny would that be? Right. Right. So at that exact moment that that thought ends, I am like, how sometimes time stops, and so that I have that thought, and then the next thing you know, I'm looking at the sky, like I see the sky, and I say to myself, "Oh my God, I'm gonna fall in this fucking pool." And the next thing I know, I'm in the pool. I will never forget the conscious thought in my head of, I'm going to be in this pool in just a moment or 2. Boom. I'm in the fucking pool. I fall in the fucking pool. Slip in the pool. Karma paid me back. God, whatever, somebody paid me back for having that thought. Because I fucking did a little...
So you literally just thinking, this thought pops in your head, and then you slipped and fell in the pool.
It's not just slipped. I fell, like I was up in the air. My hip hit the edge of the bridge, and then it was nothing to hold on to.
Oh, Christ.
Boom, into the pool, right? And I'm underneath the water, and I again, seconds seemed like hours. And I look, and I can never open my eyes in the water, but I did this time. And I remember seeing the surface. And I just remember thinking, what the fuck? Like, I was just so angry that, I'm in the fucking pool. Whew. I get up. I don't know, before I even get up, I'm still in the pool. And I reach for my pockets because my phone is in there, my wallet's in there. And before I even get to the surface, I have the thought, I get in my pockets, reach my phone. And the first thing that pops out is the phone. And then I pop out, right? To the surface. And Cheryl's like, oh my God, are you okay? Whatever. And then, how you're just kind of like wiping water from your face. And I look, and the little kid is looking at me. Right? And he's got this shit-eating smirk, like a half. I know I shouldn't be laughing, but I want to laugh kind of look. And I look at him and I go, go ahead and laugh. I deserve it. Like he knew.
No, what I'm thinking, this child has telepathic and telekinetic powers. So he knew what you were thinking and then threw you into the pool with his psychic powers.
Yes. I looked at him, I was like, yeah, you got me. And the mom was like, oh my God, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. So the next thing I know, Cheryl gets my wallet. By the way, that's the third time in less than a week that my wallet was submerged in a pool. Like I would get bombed and just go in the pool. And I have my wallet every fucking time. There's a picture of us laying out money to dry at the pool and my credit cards and everything. Laying out on the side of the pool outside because it was warm and sunny to dry. That was the third time it was in there. Next thing I know, here come like lifeguards and fucking everybody, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm more embarrassed than anything else. Fine. And I'm I'm not in any swim trunks. I'm in like regular shitty shorts. And so everything's just waterlogged. And I sit on a chair and Cheryl's like, are you okay? You're right. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she knows it's just, I'm more embarrassed than anything else. I'm just like, oh, fucking idiot. So I was like, I don't know. Do you want to get breakfast? And she's like, well, why don't we go back to the fucking room and you can change and then we'll go back. Fucking change and blah, blah, blah. So now I'm paranoid of this fucking bridge now. Every time I got to cross it, but you got to cross it to get to this restaurant. Yeah. So that was it. So I didn't have a phone for 3 days. Right. So if anybody tried to text me, I was out of commission. I was out. So I had this beer tasting the next day. And this guy, Jorge, he had a nickname. It was Teddy Bear. It's fucking hilarious. And he knew every time I went to the bar that he would put on hockey. Like, I don't think hockey has ever been on in this bar in my entire life. And he would put on the fucking Maple Leafs game every game that they played. I fucking tipped him like $100. I swear to God. One night, $100. Just because he just fucking, every drinks coming all the time. Took the fucking Maple Leafs are on. When I came in one time, he was just laughing his ass off. He was just fucking, he saw me and he just started cracking up. And his English is okay, but he just pointed and he was like, how was the pool? Apparently it was like the whole fucking complex knew that my fat ass fell in the pool. And I just will never forget him pointing and laughing and being like, how was the pool?
See, I was imagining all the staff would be like, oh my God, we might have a lawsuit on our hands. This is unsafe. How did one of our guests... But no, they're just actively laughing and mocking you to your face.
But they do it. I was like, you motherfucker. I mean, at first they were like, oh my God, you okay? You know, I mean, it was like they just swarmed on me to make sure I was all right. And once I was okay. But then afterward, it was ball busting central. Fucking Jorge. He was great. He was so great. Anyway, I know I'm rambling on 32 fucking minutes, but it was fantastic. It was great. I want to go back tomorrow, and if I just could find a way to just, stick some kind of anesthesia in me so I don't have to worry about flying. Here's the problem. After this, though, I told Cheryl, I was like, I have to get some professional help for this. Like I'm resigning to the fact that I can't do this by myself, and I'm worried. Like I could have easily been like, "Fuck it, I ain't getting on the plane." Fuck that. I mean, dude, remember the last time I was going to Japan? I was telling you, I was like, I can't get on the plane. You're like, do what you got to do, but come on, just fucking get on the plane. You're going to be good. And going back, I was bitching about it. It's become such a problem that I'm afraid I'm going to miss out on something that like experiences in life. So I got to get this fucking thing sorted out. And I don't know who would help with that, or how long it would take, or whatever it is. But I got to get it fucking sorted out because it's really starting to get on my nerves.
Yeah. Well, wish you luck with that. I definitely think you should.
I have to.
About time that you.
Well, it's not like I'm going to go back to fucking Japan anytime soon, right? Nice segue.
Brilliant. Yeah. So we got some border closures with this fucking COVID. It's never ends. I don't have the emotional energy left to get worried or upset about the team. I was like, fuck it, I'm not. Blah. Borders are going to be tightened up getting into Japan, basically. So the gist of it is new visas, forget it. So don't expect to see any fresh faces in Japan anytime soon. But it's been confirmed by the president of New Japan. Will Ospreay will definitely be there for Wrestle Kingdom. And wrestlers who have current visas will be able to get into. I think the issue now is, my understanding is a full 14-day quarantine. So anyone who wants to be at Wrestle Kingdom is basically going to be spending Christmas in a hotel.
And he's guaranteeing Will Ospreay is going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay. How the fuck? I mean,
Ospreay's tweeted out. He said he's going to be there as well.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate the effort, but I mean, so I feel like some of that shit's out of their hands.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think they'd be saying that if they thought they couldn't. I mean, I suppose there's a chance that things might get worse and they just stop people coming in altogether. We can't rule that out. But,
right.
I mean, Ospreay said he's going to be there. I'm not going to hold my breath and expect others to be there, like Jay White, David Finley.
You don't think Jay's going to be there?
I don't know. I don't know what to think with Jay White anymore. I mean, we'll talk to him later, actually, when we talk about El Fantasmo. But the important nugget of information here is that, according to New Japan, at least the main events are safe for Wrestle Kingdom. So there's that. And also, it looks like things, domestically at least, are on the way up in terms of attendances. I think I've read some reports that we're looking at higher attendances. So maybe full Korakuens was my understanding, and maybe like a half Tokyo Dome, which is better than a kick in the teeth.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I have to take everything that anybody says with a grain of salt. Like, I wish we knew. We don't. And I don't think anybody does. And I know everybody's trying to be optimistic and everybody's trying to put we got a month. We got a month. And I don't know. Who I worry about? I worry about like staff, and like there's a lot of people that New Japan employees that, I don't know, I feel like it's got to be pretty stressful on them. Just just when you think the light's at the end of the tunnel, it's like, oh, another fucking thing. And I know that they had a lot of 50th anniversary plans, man. They had a lot of plans. I don't know if a lot of it's going to happen or it's going to go through. Or, I mean, look, if they think there's going to be a problem, how are they going to open it up to even 18,000 at the Tokyo Dome and have a full Korakuen? Does that make any sense?
I think it's sort of preventative. So they feel that they've got things under control domestically and they want to stop this new variant from coming into Japan.
Right. It's already there. What do you think of that? You know what I mean?
Oh, it's everywhere. I'm sure it's everywhere.
Right. It's already there. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know. It makes me depressed. It really does. It makes me fucking depressed that this is now the third Wrestle Kingdom that is impacted by this, right? This is the third one that's impacted by it?
No, this will be the second one, the 2021. Right. We were there.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
No, I don't. That's the problem. It feels like it's three. That's for fucking sure. All right. Well, look. What are we going to talk about? Oh, fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, there's no point analysing it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the card is and analyse it then accordingly. So there you go. Let's dip into the... We would just try to drag out the non-wrestling talk as long as humanly possible.
Right, because there is no wrestling talk for us.
Okay, so Best of the Super Juniors. I'm looking at the points tallies now. It's quite even, but at the moment we have Sho sitting on top, 3 points clear of everyone else. So he's got 12 points, and the next closest person is El Desperado on 9. We got Taguchi, Kanemaru and Ishimori on 8, Hiromu at 7, Then everyone else is on 6 or 4. So, yeah, Show getting an early lead here. How do you see this one playing out? I don't imagine Show's going to win because, they usually do this with tournament stories that they'll have a heel taking an early lead and then other people trying to catch up. And, of course, Show's whole gimmick this time has been the House of Torture, the wrench attacks, the run-ins, the bullshit. So they've been literally beating... Well, his opponents have been beaten over the head with it. We have been figuratively beaten over the head with it. Do you still think this is the big Hiromu comeback?
Yeah. Right. I mean, what else would they do with Hiromu? That's the way you got to look at it, right? Like if they said, okay, we're not going to give him, the junior main event at any one of these dome shows, like what would you do with him? Right?
Tag him with Bushi.
Right. So yeah, this is the winning streak begins, and he'll go on a tear, and he's got to win it. There's no one else, right? There's no one else that they're putting in that spot. Like this is again, we complain about it all the time, Joel, but this is it's carved in stone, right? That Yo gets the upper hand here at that final night, right? Didn't we talk about that earlier?
Yes, I mean, they were telling the story early on with Yo, with him going on the losing streak, but now he's picked up 6 points, so he's put that behind him. But yeah, with Show on this sort of monstrous tear and dominating the blocks, and Yo starting slowly, surely that is the direction for Yo to get the upset and spoil Show on the final night, whilst Hiromu probably beats Robbie Eagles to win the tournament.
Right.
Or get through to the finals. I don't even know how it works. Is it first against second? Is that how it works? I've done the most basic research.
I think so. I think that's it. Unless they've changed it. Yeah. So again, all the bullshit that we see with Show is there for us to get angry and fuck him. This sucks. House of Torture. Blah blah blah. And then Yo gets his win back. And away we go.
Well, right? We've got ELP versus Despy as well on the final night. So probably ELP going into the final because he just beat Hiromu a couple of days ago.
Right.
So Hiromu's got to get that win back.
Right. Yep. I mean, it seems there's absolutely no reason for them to do anything different. There really isn't. As much as surprises and there's just at this point on November 30th, a month away from the fucking dome shows, we just want cookie cutter. We just want to get to the other side of this, right? We just want to get to the other side of it. So they're not going to do anything wacky. They're not going to. And here's the thing: there's nothing that they can bring to the table that's going to be any different than what they have right now, right? So again, not to harp on the COVID stuff, but we're not going to get guys from Mexico being flown in. We're not going to get surprise AEW guy. It's Hiromu because he's the best guy in that fucking division.
And I'm looking at the World Tag League standings as well.
Oh,
and
boy.
I wanted to check if Naito and Sanada, yes, okay, right. I'll tell you what's going to happen in this tournament. So we've got Naito, Sanada, and Dangerous Tekkers, Taichi and Zack.
Shop on eBay this holiday season to get more for your dough on stand mixers. Or get more for your buck on this season's hottest tech and gaming gear. And on eBay, you can even get more bling for less cha-ching on jewelry. You can get more because you save more on premium brands with eBay's exclusive deals. Get more when you get it on eBay.
Some coffee's fast, but not fresh. Some coffee's fresh, but only after a long wait. Speedway Coffee is made fresh at the push of a button, hot or iced, so you can have fresh coffee your way, right away. Get 2 times the points when you buy any size hot or iced coffee drink with Speedy Rewards.
Sitting at 10 points. Then we have Tanahashi and Yano, Goto, Yoshihashi, Okada and Hanare, GOD, and Farley and Chase at 8 points. So I think those are probably the only teams worth talking about.
Yeah.
And what I envisage happening here is probably the same thing we talked about before. Final night, we got Sanada and Naito against Yujiro Evil, so we're resuming the Naito Evil feud here. So I see LIJ winning that one,
Right.
and going through to the final. They'll be in the top two. We also have the United Empire team, Hinare and Okan against God. This one is a little harder to call. I'm leaning towards United Empire winning that one and making their way to the final as well. And then the other significant match would be Yoshihashi and Goto against Dangerous Tekkers. I don't think Dangerous Tekkers will go through to the final, so I'd say Yoshihashi and Goto to spoil them there. Then a final of Hinare and Okan against Sanada and Naito. And Hinare and Okan beat Sanada and Naito last night, actually, in what was a really good match. I had it on in the background, and I enjoyed it a lot. The closing stretch was very, very good. Some really good sort of back and forth and interplay between Hinare and Okan. They worked on some team moves, and it was Sanada eating the pinfall at the end from Okan. So that one was really good, actually. I would recommend checking that out. But I would expect a final where LIJ get the win back over United Empire. So I think it will probably be Sanada and Naito winning this tournament and going on to challenge for the tag titles again.
How's it? I mean, I would have really look. One of those nights that they would have to because what else are we doing with? We say that a lot. Like, what would they do with this person? What would they do with that person if they don't? Like, it seems like there's a lot of that. Like this year, you have your main players, but there's a lot of guys that you're just like, okay, well, what are they going to, like? Are they just going to shove them in a fucking rumble? But yeah, I mean, we called it from the beginning, and not like we were breaking new ground with that prediction either. But yeah, I mean, Sanada and Naito, that's what they're going to do this winter, right? That's what they're doing this zone season.
Having said that, I mean, it will probably be God in the final. I can't imagine God being over here working this tour and then not being in the final. To be honest, but
I can't imagine Hinare and Okan. Like, all right, so let's say they lose. Well, now what do they do? Is it never 6-man title? Like, I just want a fucking break for Hinare, and that has nothing to do with him being so kind and doing the little voicer for you. But I just feel like they're just spinning their wheels a little bit here, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I keep saying I would love them to win this tournament. I think it will be a fresh coat of paint for the division, and from what I've watched from them in this World Tag League, they're really good.
Yeah.
They've got really good chemistry as a tag team, and both of them working extremely hard. They've been put in good, prominent spots here, so who knows? Maybe they will surprise us.
Who's been the tag team that you've are given the turd award? Which matches have you been? And it's not like we've watched fucking everything, mind you, but from what you've seen, who's just been like, oh, gee, you got to be kidding me.
Well, I said on Twitter yesterday, this Great Bash Heel team, Honma and Makabe, when Tomoaki Honma is the mobile one in the team, the one who's got to take all the bumps, then you know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Togi Makabe is barely off his feet.
I don't think he's taken 3 bumps the entire fucking tournament, to be honest with you. I think it's a toss-up. Has Fale taken a back bump? I don't know if Fale... I don't think... and again, I haven't watched everything. Has Fale, from what you've seen, taken 1 back bump? I have not seen it.
Yeah. So that team have been fine.
Yeah?
Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't really recommend any matches that you have to go out of your way to see, apart from yesterday's main event, which and also actually the semi-main was quite good. There was the what are they calling themselves? Bebop Tag League, the Tanahashi
Yano,
yeah. So based on some
Cowboy Bebop, isn't it? Yeah.
No. It's I tweeted it. I'm gonna have to try and find it now because that's gonna annoy me. But basically, it was a very popular long-running manga series about a pair of delinquent high school kids.
Okay.
And their names happen to be Hiroshi and Toru.
Right.
So hence the gimmick, and they're dressing up together and quaffing their hair. They look really good together, actually. And yeah, they had a surprisingly entertaining match with Dangerous Techers. There was a lot of shenanigans and silliness in it. It was quite funny. So they're cosplaying the two main characters from Bebop High School, a popular manga from the 80s that ran for a long time and has a bunch of adaptations. It arguably established the high school delinquent comedy genre. And, yeah, there you go.
Well, what did I say? Cowboy Bebop? Is there a Cowboy Bebop?
There is Cowboy Bebop, which is really good, actually. I'm not a big anime guy, but that's one of the few that I have watched, and I think is really good. So, yeah, Bebop High School, you were not a million miles away. The other match I would recommend from the World Tag League, I don't know if you saw this one, it's the opening night, actually, the Suzuki-gun clash. Taka and Suzuki against Dangerous Techers, where they basically just beat the shit out of Taka Michinoku for about 15 minutes. And just great moments with, like, Taka just getting absolutely battered. He's in pain. He's sort of trying to limp back to get Suzuki for the hot tag. He's trying to tag out to Suzuki, and Suzuki's like, fuck that. You go sort this mess out. Right. Suzuki refusing to tag in. And the finish was great as well, where Taichi hit him with the Black Mephisto. I didn't pin him, just let him lie there for the 10 count. So it was just basically Taka Michinoku eating shit.
Eating fucking everything. Nice.
And then they all sort of did the Suzuki-gun gesture at the end. And like, okay, you've taken your lumps. Welcome back. We'll let you back in now. So that is the only other World Tag League match, apart from the ones I've mentioned, that I think I would recommend people go out of their way to watch.
It's been pretty sluggish, hasn't it?
Yeah, and even like just for World Tag League is always slow, but just the best of the Super Juniors, there's just absolutely no buzz whatsoever. It's stone cold, and it's been good. I mean, I've just got bullet points here from stuff that I've enjoyed. Hey guys, it's me, Jem says, with him having been arguably best of the Super Juniors MVP this year, is it time to give Kanemaru something to do as a singles wrestler? I'm not saying they have to put the title on him, although I wouldn't complain, but a program with a champion would at least be fresh and exciting. So, yeah, Kanemaru has been really good, particularly his match against Sho, which you might argue is a proof of concept for the whole Sho thing, where they just would sort of trying to out-shenanigan each other, right. And then Kanemaru, being the wily, crafty veteran, manages to get one over. The closing sequence of that, with them sort of throwing the referee at each other back and forth, was really, really fun. I enjoyed that match a lot, and I cheered audibly when Kanemaru managed to beat Sho. So that was a really cool moment, a very good match. And yeah, it seems that when you have these sort of ultra heelish heels like Sho and Evil, giving you the payoff with them losing against another heel, but one that people actually like, is more satisfying than giving the babyface.
Yeah.
So, Jeff Cobb being the one to derail even in the G1, and here Kanemaru getting the win over Sho and best of the Super Juniors. So, I mean, like we said, we think it's ultimately going to be Yo who ends up eliminating Sho from the tournament. But Kanemaru's been very, very good so far.
He's always good.
And he was also the MVP in the Dangerous Techers versus Bebop Tag League match yesterday, where he tied Bebop Tag League's feet together whilst Zach and Taichi had them in submission moves, and they were unable to hop back to the ring to make the 20 count. So Kanemaru making waves in both tournaments there. So, he lost to Despy in the most recent match, but he said that he would like to challenge Despy for the junior heavyweight title. So
that'd be fun.
Do you think? Would you like to see Kanemaru get a bit of a push?
Yes, I would. I would love to see a Despy Kanemaru. I don't know about feud, but a little couple defenses would be nice. I'd like that. I don't think anybody would complain about that. Yeah, I mean, look, the limited information that people share with me about their enjoyment of either one of those two tourneys, by far, more people are talking about Best of the Super Juniors, but it's not like, my new phone is blowing up with a lot of feedback. It does feel like, again, to me, it feels like people are just kind of, let's just power through this and get to where we need to go. On a scale of 1 to 10, to Baby Joel, how do you think this year's Best of the Super Juniors has been? 10 being an all-time classic, 1 being I want to jump out a window.
In terms of in-ring quality, I'll give it a solid 7.
Wow.
Nothing's been bad. And
7?
The good matches have been really enjoyable, but the crowd stuff is really hurting it. And I don't want to keep going on and on about that, but it's really difficult. They seem even quieter than usual. I mean, has been stuff that stood out. I've just, again, made bullet points here about stuff I enjoyed. Obviously, the Hiromu against Despy main event, the draw that they had was very, very good. Of course, They got tremendous chemistry, and there was a lot of callbacks to the previous matches that they had and playing off stuff that they'd done before. And they did some really interesting stuff, just going flat out, right from the bell, just launching themselves at each other, which was sort of throwing you off the scent for the time limit draw. Because, you see them just flying at each other. And you think, oh, well, there's no way this is going the full 30, but it did at the end. And yeah, that was a very good match. I think El Fantasma is worth talking about as well, because there's been some scuttlebutt. He might be moving to heavyweight. He made some comments about Jay White. So he beat Hiromu in the main event of the most recent show. And then he specifically called out Jay White in his post-match promo in the ring and said that if Jay doesn't make it to Wrestle Kingdom, then ... So maybe he could be earmarked as the next Bullet Club guy. I mean, we don't know what's happening with Jay White. Who knows? It's just impossible to say. Classic Cat says 2 related questions. 1, do you think the ELP Jay White stuff is a sign that Jay's on his way out? And 2, if Jay is on his way out, who would you put in charge of Bullet Club? So, yeah, ELP, I'm seeing a bit of a change in him. I mean, I've made this point before about when you have the House of Torture big heel in a block or in a tournament, that means people who would normally be doing cheating shenanigans, i.e. Bullet Club, have to tone it and dial it back a bit. And I think this has been the case with El Fantasma. Like, he had a really good and quite serious match with his tag partner, Taiji Ishimori. That was really good. His match with Robbie Eagles was really good. Yeah. And I'm not putting him on the same level in terms of wrestler, how, the quality of a wrestler. That remains to be seen. But it's hard not to make comparisons with Kenny Omega when he was a junior, doing all the sort of silly comedy shenanigans, the chainsaw shaved arm thing. And then when there was talk about him moving to heavyweight and being a serious main event, people were like, oh, what? This guy? No, he's a comedy junior. So could El Fantasmo make that transition from slightly comedic junior heavyweight to serious heavyweight contender?
Yes.
Could he possibly be a leader for the Bullet Club? What do you think?
I think he's very underrated because, again, what you're getting is junior tag, sometimes filler for world title defense, et cetera, et cetera. But he is really fucking fantastic in the ring. I'll go back. I don't think Jay White's going anywhere. I don't. I just think that there's just so many question marks that they don't know what the fuck to do with the guy. Could he sit at strong? And I mean, we've seen him there, but there's so much start and stop with him. Who knows? I mean, between all the shit that was online with God, between the stuff on fucking Impact with Kenny, the fuck, you don't even, who knows, right? I mean,
that's just been the story of his year, though, isn't it? Teasing things, setting things up, and then spectacularly failing to deliver.
That's not his fault, though.
I don't know whose fault it is, but collectively, I mean, whoever we're blaming from that Wrestle Kingdom match just dropped the ball in the fucking mud, haven't they?
Oh my god! I mean, that post-match promo was a highlight of his fucking year. that Wrestle Kingdom post-match meltdown was the highlight of his year. It's crazy. Yeah, it's been a lot of that. It's been a lot of stops. It kind of reminds me of, and it's funny that you bring up Kenny, in that that whole, if you remember back, the Ibushi AJ Styles match, Kenny's at ringside, and apparently that was all ad-libbed. That stare, the famous stare, was all ad-libbed. Could I see? It's funny that you mentioned that because you are spot on in the fact that Kenny was probably, I mean, look, after he turned heavy and all the stuff that happened, there's no doubt he is the most divisive pro wrestler in the history of us doing a show. No doubt. But like, if you rewind back to when he was a junior, people fucking thought he was the shit. And I mean, not the positive shit, the shits. Like, just because of all the nonsense comedy bullshit, the chainsaw with the fucking stubbly arm. And then look at what fucking happened. Could he be that guy, ELP? That's a great scenario, actually. Interesting. I mean, I'll tell you what. I think ELP cuts a better promo, right? I think, like, if you put a little bit more polish on ELP, that could be that's not a bad fucking call. I'm not opposed to that at all. You know, when you first said it, I was kind of hand waved it, but I think that's not a bad thing. And I
know the company are keen on him. The way that he's been booked, they love him.
They do like him a lot. And I will say this, like, there have been people, I won't name names, but you know who I'm talking about here, who have communicated with us, who have said he is the most prepared guy. Was that the word that was used? Or the most, like he comes to work full of ideas and prepared, and I think
the consummate professional,
a
guy that they can rely on.
Yeah, you know what? You putting that out in the fucking atmosphere, that's not a bad call. I would not have a problem with that at all. Let's put it this way. Here's what I would say. Let's give him the ball. Let's see what the fuck happens. I would have no problem seeing what that would look like. That would be. I'm telling you, he's a better fucking promo than Kenny Omega. That is an interesting spin. I will say that. I like that a lot, Joel. I like that.
Yeah, if that comes to pass, then I will take a huge victory lap. So we'll see. One other person I wanted to single out for praise is Robbie Eagles, who is just consistently brilliant. Everyone that he wrestles with, best of the Super Juniors. And of course, you will not hear us on the Super J-Cast disrespecting his tights, which are a shout out to his Filipino heritage. So, you know, you might see other dastardly people knocking his tights. Not on my watch, Damon. We like his tights. We think they're great.
Who's not? I mean, why would you knock that?
No, I'm joking. No, I won't say. It's just a little.
I love them. I like the tights. The tights are good. Good gear. Good gear.
One last thing. Louis says, in the spirit of Hinare's post-match interview, how did you guys No Nut November go? Damon, I'm masturbating now as we speak.
I have no idea what the fuck you just said. What?
No Nut November. No Nut November is when people don't
jerk off. No
nutting through the month of November
at all.
No orgasms. Yes,
I was done 15 minutes into November. You kidding me?
Yeah, apparently, according to his post-match interview, Hinare's been doing No Nut November.
Why would anybody do this? Why would you do? What is the purpose of it?
Insane,
right? That's the only thing that gives me pleasure in this world. I mean, you kidding me? Oh my god! So no sex, no sexual activity.
Yeah. So
if you have a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, there's no nothing. You just sit there and stare at each other. What are you doing?
I guess so.
What's the point?
Why would you make yourself miserable for an entire month? November's pretty shit anyway.
Here's the thing, though. I know me. I would say by like the 12th, 13th, I'm having a fucking weird dream and I'm jizzing all over myself and I don't even have to do anything.
What's that film? 40 Days and 40 Nights. That's what happened. Oh, no, that's not what happened, is it?
No.
Let's go back and watch that. No, he was... Okay.
I don't think I could do it. Could you do it?
No.
It's like... No, I wouldn't even want to. No, I don't. I am... Again, 15 minutes into November, I probably fucking... There's no way.
Just the thought of it is making me horny.
Right. Me not jerking off is making me want to jerk off. just out of spite. Oh, we had like a spite jerk off. I'm going to jerk off right now. I don't know. That's I would never make that sound by doing that. I would never. All right.
Okay, let's move on to this pro wrestling Noah talk. So,
Lordy.
Of course, we all know by now that January 8th, this third Wrestle Kingdom show is going to be a New Japan versus Noah Super Show. So, Agent 37 says, do you think we'll get any singles matches on January the 8th, or do you think it will be more like all together and other similar shows with pretty much all multi-man tags?
I don't think so. Not the way that they're talking about it and the way that they're hyping it up. It doesn't feel like it. No, I think we're going to get some singles matches. I know everyone's excited for it, and I think it's a different thing. And I'm sure the matches will be tremendous. I'm curious, is this just going to be like a one-off thing? Like is this going to be like a Fantastica Mania, which is completely outside the New Japan canon? Or do you think that this will be I don't want to say a long-term thing, but do you think that it doesn't end with this show?
I think there might be more. Antonio says, what are your thoughts on the partnership returning and Kenta returning to Noah? So I believe he's challenging for their title and possibly defending the IWGP US Championship there at Noah, the New Year event. So, yeah, the fact that Kenta is appearing on one of their shows is this is more than a one-show deal. Presta says, with borders closing again, will this be the first of many shows between Noah and New Japan? Yeah. Will they start working with other Japanese promotions as well in 2022? Yeah, I mean, if this border situation continues, but maybe they would extend it. I think it would be smart to. I mean, the ticket sales are doing incredibly well. The first batch of tickets they put out all sold out pretty much immediately. It seems that the domestic fans are really into this.
I think everybody's into it. I think everybody was kind of surprised by the announcement. I know we were. We did. They kept it pretty tight to the vest, if you will. Is that the saying? Tight to the vest. I know Lanza had some information on it on his Patreon, but look, I don't think anybody's shitting on the idea of doing this. I think it's a situation where it's a fail-safe, where it's all these guys are already in Japan. We don't have to worry about, finding a way to get these people in and keeping them, all that. There's interest. There's buzz. People have talked about it. There is interest. And again, I think that it helps everyone, doesn't it? I mean, I can't think of a negative. Like, does it? The only negative I've heard, and I don't agree with it, to be very clear, is Noah a promotion that is, and I put it in air quotes, worthy of a partnership, a deal, a one-off with New Japan? Like, does Noah have that stature? And I think it's kind of hard to say in the past 2 years who has what stature in Japan and Japanese pro wrestling. No. I mean, I think they do. I mean, I don't want. Here's put it this way: I don't think it makes it look. I don't think New Japan looks like Bush League if they have this partnership, this one-off show, this whatever. And I think it helps. Look, how many of our listeners, honestly, give me a percentage, watch Noah on a consistent basis? I would say very few, right?
Yeah.
You think?
I don't know. I mean, our Discord people seem quite keen on Noah. Okay. Every time there's a Noah event, there's big buzz in our Discord. So just taking that as a sample size, I mean, the Voices of Wrestling people who are into New Japan are also quite into Noah as well. So I think there might be a bigger crossover than you think.
Okay.
Cola Blue says, will you guys be watching any Noah matches in the lead up to Wrestle Kingdom Night 3? I'd love to hear Joel and Damon's deep dive on the Noah roster episode. So I know like neither of us have really been following it or watching it.
I'll tell you, the last Noah event I saw was when I was in Japan. It was like that was the last time I saw a Noah event was live. So yeah, I would have to do some serious brush up to get back into the swing of things there. I think honestly, I kind of fell off after Muta won. Like after Muta won the title, I was kind of left a little like, wow, wait, we're going back to the future here, are we? That kind of, I don't want to say it turned me off, but I think there's a lot of things in pro wrestling that I've kind of disconnected from. That helped make that. And I don't even think it was just a conscious decision.
I think you're being really unfair on this, David, because a lot of people doubted when Muta won the title, but it's a long-term story. The whole point of that was, you give the title to the old fading star, but eventually at the end of his run, he was there to put over up-and-coming young star Naomichi Marufuji, who's 42 years old. So we were all wrong about that. He cares about the next generation, David.
I was really enthralled by your take there, and then you hit me right in the kidney with that one. You gave me a little jab right in the kidney. Look, there are people that are much more knowledgeable about Noah. So I'll have to do a little brush up. I will. So here's the thing. Help our listeners, help everybody. Because again, I think our Discord they're hardcore. You know what I mean? Like, they're hardcore pro wrestling fans. And they watch, I'm not saying they watch everything, but they watch more than the average fan. Let's put it this way. Of the people who did the show last week, how many of those people are active Noah watchers? I don't want to speak for them, but I don't think many.
Yeah, you could be right. Can I also say, if you want an invite to the Discord, send me a private message on Twitter and I'll hook you up.
Who, me?
No, listeners.
I'll throw that thing right in the fucking show.
You're not allowed in. I'm not giving you one.
I'm banned. I banned myself.
All right, so what else we got? So Multiverse Ace says, on Wrestling Observer Live today, the idea of Okada versus Nakajima main eventing night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom was brought up as a cool but unlikely idea if Ospreay and Ibushi are both unavailable. Do you think we'll see Noah guys on night 1 or 2 of Wrestle Kingdom now due to the current situation? I don't think so. I think they have enough domestic talent and people that could and would return who already have visas to fill out 2 nights. I think the Noah stuff will be night 3.
And you want to keep that night 3 special, right? You don't want to you don't want to dilute the specialness of that one show by having them scattered about, third match in on night 2 of the Dome. What's the point? Keep that special. Keep it separate.
Okay, I would like to talk about the most recent episode of New Japan Strong, which was the taping that you were at, so the 2300 arena. So, of course, you have actually seen these matches. First one was Jonathan Gresham defeating Alex Coughlin. This one, I enjoyed it a lot. It's very different. It had that feel of like an ROH Pure Rules match, just like very clean grappling. And I hope we get to see a lot more of Jonathan Gresham in Strong. I know he's got a match with Gabe Kidd coming up. And I thought the finish was really good with Coughlin just getting caught out with a flash pin. And then he was just like immediately jumping up and getting in the ref's face to protest. So it kept him looking strong in spite of the defeat. So this was a really different and interesting match that I enjoyed a lot. The second match was the 10-man tag with the DKC, Narita, Fredericks, Rocky, and Fred Rosser team defeating Team Filthy. It was by disqualification, actually.
Yep.
And this one, I mean, Team Filthy, they're such a weird bunch of misfits, but they're incredibly fun to watch. They're having a blast out there. And I keep saying it, they are the MVPs of Strong by a country mile. And I thought this match was a really great showcase for angry Fred Rosser. Like this Tom Lawler feud has really lit a fire under him and made him really just very, very compelling to watch. Like, did you catch the promo where he was so angry and so raw with his comments that they actually muted him in the middle of the promo? It's hilarious.
Wow.
And we have Black Tiger, which was Ricky Reyes. Any Lucha Underground watchers will know him as Cortez Castro. Looks like he's going to be having a little program with Rocky Romero. And it was really good to hear Tom Lawler cutting a promo in front of a real crowd and the fans shouting, shut the fuck up at him, calling Fred Rosser Darren. I'm really looking forward to this match. I know they've wrestled before and it was very good, but with the Strong title on the line, I think Fred Rosser against Tom Lawler is one of, if not the hottest feud in the company as a whole. In Japan or the States. I think they've done a tremendous job building this one up.
Yeah. Nobody's complaining about the job that they're doing, building up this feud. I was going to say, are we doing an award show? Because if we had a feud of the year, that might win. Like just the build to this. Did the hair eating get broadcasted? Did you see it?
Was that in this match, or was it in I think no, that must have been an older match.
It might have been.
I think they showed it in this one. He was already had his head shaved.
Okay.
And Tom Lawler had some sort of accessory made out of the shaved hair. So.
Yeah. That's gross. I can't stand people touching other people's hair. Like, ugh, that's so. Oh, it skeeves me out so much. And then he ate it. I swear, I thought I was going to vomit right there. I thought I was going to fucking puke right there. Feud of the year. I would have no problem with that. Are we doing an award show?
Yeah, it's coming
up to the
time, isn't it? We need to get our skates on with that.
Yeah, we have a month, right?
Yeah,
we have a month. All right. So we got to do that. We can't not do it. Like I feel weird.
We have to.
Yeah, I feel weird. It's a hard year to judge, I think, but we can't. We got to be consistent. We got to do it. So I don't know who we contact for that, but let's get that rock and roll.
Comms Pete, I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
So the third match, we had Stray Dog Army against Violence Unlimited. Stray Dog Army, they're my favourite mid-card act.
Yeah.
They've given a lot of, just something, a little bit of extra spice to these sort of mid-card matches in Strong. And I think Barrett Brown is a really talented wrestler. I think he's going to do great in New Japan. And as a whole, this unit made Violence Unlimited look terrific. There was that awesome finish with like the triple pile drivers in the middle of the ring. That looks sick. And really, just looked really dominant there. And I know Chris Dickinson's going to be on the shelf for a while. We hope he gets well soon. But they look great here. And I think a large part of that was due to Stray Dog Army making them look good. Yeah. Main event, we had the Philadelphia Street Fight. Suzuki and Archer defeating Moxley and Kingston. I didn't love this one. I know this is sacrilege to say I don't love Eddie Kingston. I can see why people like him, but personally, I don't have any emotional investment with him as a character, so I can't really get into the matches. This was just basically a walk and brawl. But two things I liked about it. One was Suzuki doing the little bow and quote-unquote sheathing the kendo stick. Yeah. I laugh when he did that. And also John Moxley bringing out the door, the forbidden door. I mean, this is basically a one-gag match with busting, is it Lance Archer? He did the double drop kick through the forbidden door. So that was very funny. But for the match itself, it was okay.
I like Eddie Kingston a lot. I mean, he's a guy I've seen a trillion times all throughout the Northeast. I think one of the things I like his promos. I just like the way he conducts himself with his promos.
Yeah, I would agree with you, actually. He did a very short promo for his upcoming match with Gabe Kidd. It was only about 15 seconds long, but it was great. As far as 15-second long promos go, it's really good.
Yeah, I think he's outstanding doing that. And I think a lot of my liking of Eddie Kingston has to do with, again, the guy pretty much was a local made it story, he's a guy that, let's be truthful, in many ways, he's not supposed to be where he's at, right? And that's not to say he hasn't worked hard to get where he is, but, that one, I think he even wrote about it, if I'm not mistaken, recently, where it was just that one promo on Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes liked it, and AEW brought him in, and away you go. And a spotlight has been shined on a guy who is very talented, that probably wouldn't have that spotlight shined on him if not just by luck and being at the right place at the right time, and the talent that he brings to the table. The match itself, there's nothing worse than paying money for a ticket. And again, I was credentialed because I'm a fancy broadcaster. But if I paid for that ticket and half the match is outside and I got to watch it on a fucking Jumbotron, I hate that. God almighty, do I hate that. All right, aside from it, you brought up the name Chris Dickinson. Joel, I got a problem. I got a little bit of a sore spot, and it has to do with pro wrestling in general. Correct me if I'm wrong. There is a GoFundMe to help pay for this guy's medical expenses. Am I wrong in that? Did I hear that wrong?
No, that's correct.
That is correct. Now, I'm not going to tell people how to spend their money, but I would encourage you, if you have the extra money, please donate. Why is it necessary that a guy who has spent so much time, given so much, and again, I don't know if New Japan is helping in any way, shape, or form. Let me be clear on that. But the fact that the guy has to have a fucking GoFundMe is preposterous to me. Can you imagine any other sport, any other league, any other where an athlete would have to be like, well, I need help from the public to pay for my rehab and my bills while I rehab, because pro wrestling is such a fucking ridiculously weird thing. Like that, I saw that, and I got to be honest with you, my stomach kind of turned a little bit. Like, my God, the fact that this guy has to, like, again, I don't know if New Japan has written any checks. I don't know, whatever. But again, I just needed to get that off my chest. That, and again, like,
I should say, actually, New Japan did release a T-shirt of his in the New Japan shop, saying all proceeds will go towards cost of living expenses for Chris while he rehabs his injury. So there's a T-shirt at least.
Great. Great. Again, I don't know behind the scenes, whatever. I wish we didn't have to. I didn't have to get that off my chest. Let's put it that way. I wish I didn't have to get it off my chest.
Yeah, agreed. I think it would be a better world if the companies could take care of their employees or their independent contractors, whatever we're calling it. We have some interesting lineups coming up for, first of all, Detonation, which is Friday, December the 3rd. We have Alex Coughlin in a singles match against Josh Barnett, which I'm really excited about. Yeah. That should be a lot of fun. Leo Rush and Adrian Quest against Bateman and Mysterioso. The newly signed, or I don't know if he is signed, but Jonah, formerly Jonah Rock. What was his name in NXT? I can't even remember. It shows how memorable it was.
I don't remember.
Against Lucas Riley, and then Yuya Uemura and Alex Zane against Hikuleo and Jay White. So, yeah, very much looking forward to that Coughlin-Barnett fight, and also seeing Jonah. I don't know a great deal about Lucas Riley, but I think Jonah is a really good signing for New Japan. I'm excited to see what he could do there. And there's also going to be a New Japan Strong taping under the name Nemesis on Thursday, December the 9th. So here we've got Coughlin against JR Kratos. They've been the highlight of a lot of these multi-man tags when they go at it together. Lucas Riley against Royce Isaacs. Jordan Clearwater and Clark Connors against Hikuleo and Chris Bay. Juice Robinson against Bad Dude Tito.
I'm sorry?
Kevin Knight and Bad Dude Tito. Are you not familiar with Bad Dude Tito?
I'm sorry. Bad Dude Tito?
Yes. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
But when I saw that, initially my mind went to Tito Ortiz, but it's not Tito Ortiz.
Mine went to Tito Santana. No? All right. Now, wait. We can't just blow this off. Bad what? Bad what?
Bad Dude Tito.
All right. I'm going to use my Google machine. Tito Escondido. I have an Instagram. Oh, Bad Dude Tito. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, California. All right. So let's see. We got Bad Dude Tito. Looks like a bad dude. He is listed as 6'1", 245 from Los Angeles, California. His signature move is the Peacemaker.
He has one vote on Cage Match, an 8 out of 10.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So he looks like a bad dude. Not going to lie. So he looks like a California guy that they're going to bring in for these New Japan shows. So good for him. Get a little shot. Tito. Yeah, let me see what Tito's got on Cage. Yeah, I don't have. There's not much here. Matches. Let's look here. As I do it out loud. Yeah, he's mostly California. He's wrestled Chris Dickinson a couple times, it looks like, for GCW. I have to check them out. All right. I'm not familiar with him, but we'll do our best to take a look and see what we can find for him.
Yeah, also on this taping, we've got Kevin Knight and Carl Fredericks against Mysterioso and Bateman. We've got the DKC versus TJP. Brody King versus Dave Dutra, I don't know how to pronounce that. Arya Daivari against Alex Zane. David Finlay versus Jonah, which I think that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that one. Christopher Daniels versus Jay White. And Gabe Kidd against Eddie Kingston. So that's in no particular order. But quite a few interesting matches there for those tapings.
Well, let me tell you something, bad dude, y'all. Bad dude. Now I got bad dude in my head. I'm going to call you bad dude, Joel. Do you mind? No,
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. Bad dude. All right. I'm looking at more. I'm very interested in bad dude. Bad dude. I really
can't get over bad dude Tito. Who'd have thought bad dude Tito would derail this podcast? Of all the things?
Put us off the rails. Bad dude Tito. All right. Very good. What else we got? I mean, you got to go to work soon. I got to eat dinner. What are we doing?
Okay. Well, so one more thing. Eric says, is it unfortunately safe to assume all those pictured in this promo for a US event a week after Wrestle Kingdom probably won't be at Wrestle Kingdom? So this is for New Beginning USA. And in this picture, we got Clark Connors, David Finlay, Fred Rosser, Juice Robinson, Jay White, Brody King, TJP, and El Fantasma. Yeah. So do you think that means none of those guys are going to be at Wrestle Kingdom? I'm going to say yes. I think, gun to my head, I don't think we see any of those people at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. I would go highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Man, they got a quarantine over Christmas, don't they? I mean, I guess there's worse places.
Yeah, I think it had gone down to 10 days, but I think it's back up to 14 now.
Christ. Yeah, I mean, I think Filthy Tom, I think Rosser, I think that whole entire strong roster is going to be they'll be in LA for the holidays, sadly to say.
Okay, well, that'll do. Like you said, I need to get dressed and go to work. So redcircle.com/shows/super-j-cast if you want to throw some money our way. We very much appreciate it. Discord link, you can send a private message to me on Twitter and I will hook you up with the Discord link. At Cobra Kawaii and ProWrestlingTees.com/super-j-cast if you want to get one of our t-shirts in time for Christmas. You can make a wonderful Christmas gift for yourself or someone you love. Big thank you to editor Dan. You can find him on Twitter at LousyHero219. Subscribe to the Voices of Wrestling podcast network for other great shows. Give us a 5-snake review on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at the SuperJcast. Thank you everybody for listening and goodbye.
Amazon is changing the way we think about TVs. Say hello to the Amazon Fire TV Omni Series, a new 4K ultra-high-definition smart TV with Dolby Vision and hands-free Alexa. This is Amazon's first hands-free TV with all your favorite Fire TV and Alexa features, now in one TV. You can stream all of your favorite content, shows, music, and more. The Amazon Fire TV Omni Series is available in a variety of sizes and competitive prices in store at Best Buy or at Amazon.com.